How can agile methodologies help data teams sort of better manage and prioritize like technical debt or the technical risks involved?
Yeah, so we touched on this a little bit, but the whole point of iterative releases is to mitigate risks. So
Mhm.
we talked about changing requirements, scope creep, all those things. You're releasing multiple times frequently. So you're going to, if there are new requirements coming in, they can be part of your next release. And so really the best thing to do with the testing and feedback is you're collecting feedback and you batch it all up into one big group of requirements and you label that as, okay, this is
Mhm.
our set of objectives for version 2. The testing phase also it ensures that you're meeting the needs of the user, and typically some sort of user stakeholder sign off is required before deploying. That's the whole purpose of the testing loops. And as opposed in a typical waterfall project, you're going through all this planning, all this development work, and you're deploying at the end of the project. And if you have no idea if you accomplished all of the requirements, really. Some requirements, some new features, they don't become clear until the user base actually interacts with your product and sees it for the first time. That's what makes the agile process so special is these new requirements can be handled in a pretty quick way. It's okay, thank you for the feedback, thank you for these new
Mm.
requirements. That'll be part of version 2. Whereas in waterfall, you have to spin up a whole new project just to get these little tweaks done. I think it's the process itself is inherently risk mitigating, which is great.
Mm. Yeah, I guess demands in data projects is constantly changing, isn't it? It's just could be 1 week and there's something new out. Like
Yep. Yep.
it's like
It's
moves that quick, and then obviously if you've got to go do this whole new loop again, or it's just going to take delay things.
it is. It definitely is. And that's part of the beauty and also scary part of technology, right? Is once
Mm.
you something new comes out and once you feel comfortable and feel like you've learned it, there's a new product, there's a new technology coming out that you have to learn and you have to figure out. So yeah, uh, it's an interesting environment to be in. It's definitely a fun environment to be in, but you really got to be constantly learning and upskilling yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's a journey in it, really. You can't. It's because you, obviously you can deliver your deliverables, but there's a new thing you got to deliver.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
constantly going, and that's obviously you got to keep learning, haven't you? You got to have that growth mindset
yeah.
because you've got to, like I said, we've seen like with the Gen AI boom, that's just changed massively, isn't it? Like the
It
dynamics of
has.
things.
Yeah, it has, and you're right. And I think the people that I've come across that I find to be the best developers, the best people that work within technology are ones that are constantly wanting to learn. They're like curious individuals. They say, what's this new thing? How can we apply it? Is there a way that it can benefit our group, our team, our company? And they start experimenting. And that's the beauty of technology and I guess really science. That's how science kind of came
Mm.
up and about. Whereas, but that sort of curious mindset is really what drives technology and innovation forward. And those are some of the most fun people to work with.
Yeah, because I think things just keep changing. Like, I think we've done podcasts before on like the evolution of DBA to data engineering, and even like
Mhm.
now, that's moving into more software fields. Like it's constantly, if you've not got that mindset that, or you got that not got the ability to want to learn new things, you're
Mhm.
just gonna you're gonna just lose out, aren't you? Really, like you just
Yeah.
obviously there's still gonna be some projects where you can stay with legacy applications, but again, I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's good to keep
it's
learning,
a
right? I
real
think
problem. It's a
it's
real problem if you think about it because this is how companies become really far behind. in the technical space is they introduce at the time cutting edge technology, and if you have a large organization, adoption of new technologies is not easy, let alone implementation of technologies is hard enough, but then you need to get your actual associates to start using it and adopt it. That's really difficult to do, and so that's why I think we see a lot of these companies that might be behind the ball in a technical sense with really outdated systems and or just outdated mindsets. You mentioned DBA and data engineering is becoming a thing of the past if you think about it, right? Like everyone used to think of the world in terms of relational databases, and then you had things like OLAP cubes coming in, and now there's knowledge graphs, and so it's really it's a constantly evolving field. It's a constantly evolving world, and like I said, it's bittersweet because it's cool and you get to learn and you get to be a part of it, but you also have to keep up with it.
Yeah, I guess that's probably the big challenge.